Well, Raw may have just scored its lowest viewership of all time, but you don't need to worry about that because in many ways, maybe it's going to light a fire under WWE's ass and Raw will start to get good again. And if SmackDown's anything to go by, it doesn't matter it's December, we can still kick on and present a lovely little show on a Tuesday night. But just in case you haven't watched it or you just want somebody else's opinion, my name is Simon Miller. This is WhatCulture Wrestling and we're about to up those downs or give good bits and bad bits to the show known as SmackDown. Not called that. I just like throwing an A in there. I'm not right in the head. Let's up those downs. SmackDown began with all the women in the TLC match in a couple of weeks coming out and yelling at each other. It was everything you would have expected in the sense that Becky Lynch got cheered, Charlotte Flair kind of got some boos, but also the crowd liked the woo, they were into that, and Asuka kind of fit somewhere in the middle. This was basically one giant game of rock, paper, scissors, because Becky Lynch has beaten Charlotte, but Charlotte has beaten Asuka, but Becky Lynch has never beaten her. It was a bit like children screaming at each other, but no matter because it worked. It was a contract signing, so eventually the man did that. She wrote her name down. I hope she just wrote the man. That would have been good, but we didn't see anything, so I don't know. And then eventually Charlotte and Asuka did the same. And although those two were about to have a WrestleMania me match, which we are getting next week, should you want to mark that down on your calendars, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose arrived, and we're going to get that tag match instead. I mean, that's not as good, but hey, it's still alright. Cut to The Miz and Shane McMahon backstage where the A-lister was mad that McMahon had booked Daniel Bryan onto Miz TV. So apparently now, the best in the world trademark is also a producer for Miz's segments. I didn't know that, and I still think that maybe this is leading to a face Miz going against the heel Shane McMahon. I don't know what I think about that, but I do know I'm gonna give it a down. We then got that tag match we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, and amazingly, or maybe not so, because how could two enemies ever coexist? And my word, did WWE go to town on that? How can they coexist? Coexist, hashtag coexist. Anyway, Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose, they beat Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Lynch came out to ringside to watch, and yeah, at one point Charlotte accidentally, or we think accidentally, big booted Asuka. Asuka didn't like that, so she kicked Charlotte in the face. That allowed Sonya Deville to roll up Charlotte. 1, 2, 3. All this gets it up. Too long didn't read. All these women hate each other, but soon they'll be able to smash each other with chairs, throw each other through tables, and just climb ladders. Because, you know, sometimes when you actually break down a TLC match, it is a little bit weird. We have a problem now because what we were given on this night absolutely rocks, but when you put your memory in gear, you gotta start raising an eyebrow. However, let's start at the start. Obviously, we're not gonna start at the end. What kind of idiot does that? Up. WWE basically took all of the tag teams that face each other each and every single damn week, so that would be the Bar, the Usos and the New Day, and they took Xavier Woods, they took Cesaro, and they took Jey Uso, and they threw him into a triple threat match. And that turned into one of the best matches we've seen on SmackDown for a while. At one point, Cesaro was not only giving Jey the big swing, but he had Woods on his back as he was given an aeroplane spin. I mean, it may have been the other way around. I was just amazed by what the Swiss Superman was doing. It did cause some kind of confusion though, because after it was done, Jey smashed that super kick into Cesaro's face and they got the win. Again, all of this was fantastic, but why can't we introduce some new tag teams into this equation so we don't have to see the same thing every time I turn on SmackDown on a Tuesday, especially when Sanity, a really good team, are nowhere to be found. There should be posters. Where the Sanity? It just means it's all drastically running out of steam, and because of that, reach up, take it out of a cupboard, throw it on the floor. That was a down. Weird segment with Rusev and Lana where Ruru told us that he's really hungry, but not for food. I mean, what was that about? And what he is hungry for is the US Championship, and although he doesn't mean it literally, we've seen so much crap on WWE TV over the last couple of weeks, it wouldn't surprise me if at one point someone wrote down, Rusev eats the United States Championship. It also felt a little bit too scripted, which I don't like with the Bulgarian brute, because when you do let him talk, go follow him on social media, he's an absolute riot, but at least he was a focal point of the television. Gets it up. Do note once again that Shinsuke Nakamura did not appear, so make of that what you will. And we had that same video promo that we saw on Raw here on SmackDown for Lars Sullivan. He's either going to sign with the Red Brand or he's going to sign with the Brew Band. If you haven't seen this video, go and watch it. As always, no one talks like this, WWE. It sounds like he's reading from some strange magazine. What are you doing? Once again, also going to be called The Freak. Miz TV now, and I tell you, it swung twice here. The first one hit a home run, but the second absolutely missed. So for the first time in Ups and Downs history, I think I'm just going to do it all live. Give it an up, there we go, but also give it a down. Here's why. I mean, it started with R-Truth and Carmella coming out and doing a dance break for absolutely no reason, and I must be becoming a bitter old man because I didn't like it at all, but obviously eventually The Miz took control back and he called out his old foe Daniel Bryan. This dynamic started fantastically because The Miz had some excellent points about the new Daniel Bryan. That's what we got to call him now. WWE ran that into the ground as well. The new Daniel Bryan, like the new Rockers or the new Blackjacks or something. But anyway, doesn't matter. Miz said, look, you finally listened to my advice, finally realised it's just about winning or losing. Don't worry about this virtuous crap. You're the WWE champion. Bryan's retort to this started brilliantly as well, because he's just embracing his new character and he's coming across like a right dick. At one point the fans were even chanting, what? And he went, you're just proving my point. You're still saying that stupid catchphrase from 20 years ago because you're fickle. He went after their intelligence as well and basically said they're all stupid, but that is where we change gears. Much like Dean Ambrose on Raw, that has an absolute ludicrous motivation for being a bad guy, here, Daniel Bryan thought we should hate him because he believes in climate change and thinks we should all have a greener footprint. Yeah, you're probably right. I ain't gonna get mad at you for that. He ragged on the audience for killing environment, and I think I'm meant to take this as seriously as someone that's scared of getting a disease. When we do this, we just completely lose the plot, WWE. Keep things simple. You don't have to go weird and complex with everything. The Miz continued to take credit for this, which was cool because it's like a decade-long storyline that keeps on giving. Hashtag massage hands. And yeah, eventually AJ Styles came out. He went after Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan pushed The Miz into AJ Styles, and eventually AJ Styles got a skull-crushing finale. We're gonna get that match, AJ Styles versus The Miz, in around about 3 minutes. Another up though, because we did get Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, and while that just seems to be as common as breathing in 2018, and when it does happen, Randy Orton has to win, I still enjoyed it, especially because of the little twist at the end. It all went along nicely until Samoa Joe used that classic tactic of appearing on the big screen to distract your opponent as he was in a bar, and he ragged on Jeff Hardy for his personal issues, much like he did a week ago. That allowed Orton to sneak in and hit the RKO for the victory, and then Samoa Joe doubled down on this, and he basically became a PSA like he's used to see at the end of Saved by the Bell. He was all like, look, you should drink in moderation, and if you don't, you're an absolute doofus, e.g. Jeff Hardy, you're a doofus. As always, you could give the Samoan one an instruction manual and he'd be able to read it as if he was about to kill a man. And I quite like Jeff Hardy versus Samoa Joe, really, because they're digging in deep here, but it doesn't feel awkward or weird. It kind of feels like they've got the balance right. You never get the balance right. Bit odd that Rey Mysterio didn't appear as he's meant to be feuding with Orton, but I guess we get that in 7 days. And hopefully Rey gets some revenge, because like Jeff Hardy, he just gets his ass whipped all the time as well. Our main event was The Miz versus AJ Styles, but we have to give all the plaudits to the new Daniel Bryan, because despite earlier problems with his motivations, I cannot stress this enough. He is playing this damn role so well. Not only an up, but a golden up. He was on commentary, and some of the lines he dished out, especially about his daughter, were just super good. And he even got in AJ Styles' face at one point, which allowed Miz to sneak up behind him. There's that sneaking stuff again, and smash the skull-crushing finale. And that was a good near fall at one point. I actually thought the A-lister had won. It wasn't enough though, because the Phenomenal One did eventually fight back to get the win. He used the calf crusher, and Daniel Bryan decided, I like cashews, so I'm gonna go nuts. Not only did he go absolutely crazy on Styles, but he had him in the heel hook, and he did that thing when he grabs your arm and he just stomps on your head. And it looks like he's actually gonna kill the man. He even went to the ring announcer and said, you announce me as the new Daniel Bryan. Because as I said, that's his thing now. You don't call him Daniel Bryan. He's the new Daniel Bryan, like he's the new Malibu Stacy action figure or something. Daniel kept going back to AJ to lay one more in, and the show went off air with the WWE Champion standing tall. And just to underline it, despite all that stuff with the environment, which we could have taken and shifted to the side, Daniel Bryan is absolutely killing this. A Becky Lynch vibe about it. But the other way around, he's actually getting heat. And that was the plan. So guys, what you thought about Raw this week? I think we all have to say this was a good episode of SmackDown. And yeah, there's always going to be some downs. That's just the way of things. But as an overall package, or the total package, how you doing, Lex Luger? I like this. It ticked all my boxes. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you thought about last night's SmackDown. Like, share and subscribe. Then you head over to WhatCulture.com like this. And you read yourself some articles. And you follow WhatCulture on Twitter. At WhatCulture WWE. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you for watching, and thank you as always for joining me on this ups and downs journey. I watch wrestling so you don't have to. Or I watch it so we can share our opinions on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, sometimes on a Monday after we have a pay-per-view. It's basically like we're lovers or like we're friends. So much so that on the 14th of February 2019, I'm going to write you a Valentine's Day card. It's going to say, "Dear WhatCulture fan, I'm in love with you and you'll have my heart forever." I now officially don't know what I'm talking about, but I just say this. Go out there today, put a smile on your face, make sure you just wave at a random stranger, make sure you wait up the random stranger before you do it so they don't punch you in the face. And yes, I've officially gone crazy, but it's just because I'm so happy and it's because I love wrestling. You have yourself a great day. I'll see you soon.